Hey guys, welcome to Thriving Over 50, episode 2. JB here. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm glad you're stopping by. We're going to talk a little bit about nutrition and kind of what I eat. Now remember, I'm not a doctor or nutritionist. I'm just somebody that qualified for the Boston Marathon, has a biological age about 10 years younger, and I live it. So I'm going to go over some of the stuff that I eat and some of the things that may work for you. Again, always talk to your healthcare practitioner before you do any type of nutrition or health plan. With that being said, I just ate a Boston cream donut. Isn't that sacrilegious? How can you be healthy and eat a Boston cream donut? Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit with what we do. The first thing I want to talk about, I learned from my friend Billy Beck the third, who is actually Tony Robbins' trainer. We became friends years ago because of Sir Mike Lee Canarick, another mentor of mine. Both Billy and Mike, Sir, have done a really great job in preparing me, Sir physically, Billy with a lot of the nutritional idea, and even Sir with the nutritional stuff later. But one of the things that I learned was that you always want to eat from the outside of the grocery aisle, meaning we're not going to go buy things in the middle where there's a lot of processed food. Now, I just ate a Boston cream donut. Why can I do that? Well, because I'm running 30, 40 miles a week. I got a little golfer's elbow going on right now, so I have to brace that. That's part of getting older. I'm 57. So eating on the outside of the aisle. So when I go shopping, you're going to see here are some bananas. Okay, so bananas are something that I'll eat consistently. I'm not a big banana fan, but I will eat them. In the bag then are something I think is really important. I try to get plenty of carbs because of how much that I'm running. And these are actually big sweet potatoes, right? So sweet potatoes are actually a really great carb that I like. And a typical meal for me, if you look right here, I've got actually sitting out right now for today, is some salmon. So I'll typically eat a carb, one vegetable, and salmon. And Billy back in the day called that a fire meal. So you got like a protein about the size of your hand. You have some carbs there, that are a little bit more on that side. And then you have a vegetable. Real simple way to eat, saves you money, and it works real well. Let's keep going through here. So one of the things you're going to see, because I'm extremely busy, is I do use the air fryer a lot. But I have been getting frozen vegetables. So in here I do like these sauteed vegetables. They're not the healthiest thing in the world, but they're typically one of the vegetables I'll eat. I'll keep them frozen, and I can get them to them real fast. The other thing that I like, again, I would go fresh if you possibly could. As you know, we're getting ready to relocate and do a lot of things, so I'm extremely busy. So I want fast and efficient meals. Broccoli is a really good one. Frozen broccoli really works well if you're in a hurry. Again, fresh always is better. Eating on the outside of the aisles, remember, as we talked about here when we go grocery shopping. But if frozen does work. So for me, if I get a couple vegetables, a sweet potato, and a piece of protein, that's a meal. I eat a couple of those a day, I'm solid. And in the morning, let me show you as we break this open, this is really important. This is one of my critical things. We'll get to that in a minute, is eggs. I am a big egg eater. I do eat grain-fed eggs. Usually the brown type. When I get to Columbia, this is one of my staple foods. And every morning I eat at least 4 eggs. Okay, so I get eggs in the 18 crate. So there's 18 and 18 here. I go through a lot of eggs. So if you look at my meal prep, typically, and my wife eats very similar, is I've got 4 eggs in the morning. That's going to be there. And I supplement a little bit with some kefir for the probiotics in it. And I do like some dairy. Like some people are against dairy. I do eat some dairy. In fact, in the bag, as we come in here, I do put cheese on my eggs because I do like flavor. So I get a big bag of cheese. Again, not the greatest stuff for you in the world. But when you exercise and take care of yourself, you can have a little bit of treats, a little bit of flavor into the foods that you're eating. And then I'm a big cottage cheese fan. I grew up in a Polish-German family. My grandma actually spoke German, and she used to give us cottage cheese in the morning, and I always loved cottage cheese. So cottage cheese has casein protein. It's good for recovery at night. I like to eat cottage cheese or yogurt at night, usually about an hour, 2 hours before I go to bed, supplement a little bit of protein there. I also, again, like I told you, frozen on the outside. I'm a huge salmon fan. This is Atlantic salmon. Typically, I'm going to the butcher, whether it's local here or in Columbia. I'm getting my beef. from the butcher. I'm getting my chicken from the butcher, and usually frozen fish. When I get to Colombia, yes, we're gonna be eating fish all the time because I'm gonna be on the ocean. I'm excited about that because I am a fish fanatic and I absolutely love fish. So I just believe in eating. What you eat, you kind of become, right? So I'm a big venison fan. If you know, I'm up here in Indiana right now, so a lot of friends get venison, and I can eat venison, and I absolutely love venison. You got to cook it right, but this stuff just works. So you can literally do air fryer and microwave. Not a big microwave fan, but that's what you can do. You can air fry some salmon. Just so you know, I put some of this Tajin sauce or Tajin spices on it. For me, I like spicy lemon, so it just works. It's very simple. I put this on most of my chicken and most of my fish. Air fry it real simple. Avocado oil is the primary oil that I'm going to use when I'm cooking, and typically air frying is one of the most important things for me. Show you a little bit more cheat stuff. Apples are my primary go-to. Not a huge fruit eater. In Colombia, you have to be. I mean, the food is so fresh. It's so good. The fruits, the mangoes, just everything that you get down there is just delicious. But I do eat apples every once in a while. And then a little guilty pleasure here, which is really crazy. A lot of people are going to say, you're crazy. You talk about non-processed. I grew up with Tombstone. So my stepfather worked in a liquor store. And on Friday and Saturday nights, you know, we didn't have a lot. We were middle class. It was great. And he was working there as a second job. And they had a Tombstone pizza oven. So this just is more nostalgia for me. And typically before my long runs, like the day before my long runs, I can actually eat this and it'll carb load. It actually works well for me. And I actually perform real well. Like if I'm running a marathon, I typically will eat pizza. Sounds crazy before. I'm not a big spaghetti guy, so pizza and this Tombstone actually works real well. So you can see there's some negativity in the diet. I do eat some nasty carbs, which I consider real potatoes kind of nasty, but I'll throw a potato in once in a while because I need carbs. My HRV has gone over 80 as I eat a few of these Boston cream donuts, and I really feel the reason that my HRV is skyrocketing with this is because I'm just caloric deficient. Like I just need to eat a lot more food. And that's the hard part is how do you get so many calories in? I know everybody doesn't have that problem, but getting those calories are really important. The other thing I'll do is I'll do pre-made meals. I bought a bunch of these like tins on Amazon, and I'll cook my chicken, my broccoli, and a little bit of rice. I'll eat rice every once in a while. I'll put it in here and freeze it, and that way I've got pre-made meals. So I'll do like 10 chicken breasts at a time and do 10 meals, a big thing of rice. Right now, I'm not doing that, full disclosure, because we're in this major transition as we're getting ready to head down to Colombia, but that is my typical thing. So that way at night, I can just have a chicken breast, some broccoli, and some rice. But here's the key. So let's go over the finer points of thriving over 50. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just somebody that, you know, qualified for the Boston Marathon at my age, and I feel amazing. Like I feel great, except for my golfer's elbow, which is pretty typical when you're doing as much activity. You're going to have some pain or something as you're training really extremely hard. So the key is getting enough calories, and a lot of people don't have that issue, but make sure you're getting good calories. Again, what does that mean? Getting groceries from the outside. Just remember that. If you're constantly getting groceries from the inside for your family, you're probably not eating the best that you possibly could. That's chips and Fritos and Doritos and fake food. It is what it is. I like chips once in a while. Like I get it, but you can't be eating all that stuff all the time. Ice cream, all those things are kind of on the inside. Even the Tombstone pizza's in the freezer, right? But if you think just about it's on the inside. If you think about the outside, you got all your vegetables, you got all your meats, you got all your food. That's a great way to eat. Then think about your meal prep. You want a little bit of protein every meal. You want to have some vegetables, and then you want some carbs. Now, personally, I would tell you if you're going to eat sugar, eat a lot of fruits like apples and stuff, then you would eat your fruits in the morning. Get that sugar in your morning after the cortisol drop, and then you can get some of that. Again, it all depends. Everybody's individual. So I think it's really important you build your diet for you individually. If you're running, a mile a week, it's going to be a little different than when I'm running 50, 60 miles in my training weeks. Then I need a lot of carbs. I need to get those carbs in. If you're trying to lose weight, and get in shape, it really depends on, you and what you're doing. And one of the things I would suggest is always going to the doctor and getting your hormones tested over 50. I think it's really important you understand what's going on with your hormones, women estrogen, men testosterone. As far as supplementation, a lot of people ask me for that. The one thing that I do supplement, I have a lot of supplements, but primarily is creatine. So I buy it in bulk, and I'm taking between 5 and 20 grams a day, depending on what's going on as far as I'm going. And the other thing I do is in the other room is I do ketones, which I'll use for performance and running. That's really the only supplements that I'm doing currently. Just checking to see there's nothing else that I'm really taking. But every once in a while I'll cycle something to try it and test it. But if you're going to do any type of supplementation, again, I'm not a doctor. I would tell you get your blood work and talk with a healthcare practitioner. Make sure you're doing the right thing. But creatine's been studied tremendously, and I personally like it. It helps me. I feel good, and it's something that I've been supplementing for years. And it's something that I bring into my diet in the first thing in the morning. So I would tell you just some key things. Number one, eat in the outsides of the aisles. That's what I do. I think it keeps all the food fresh. The other thing Billy always used to teach us, and I like this, is eat foods closest to the source. I just mentioned trying to eat fresh fruits and vegetables here, venison, farm, processed or farm food, not processed, but food from the local area. I always try to eat the local area. That's why as I start to transition into South America on the beach, I'm going to be eating a lot of the local foods there that I'm excited about, but stay local. And then understand your own body type and where you're at with your calories. We obviously don't want to be sedentary. We're going to get into that on this channel. We're going to talk a lot about zone 2 as we're thriving over 50. But get in a habitual pattern of the way you eat and the way you kind of keep an eye on things. You don't have to get crazy with your macros. We track them at MorningCoach. We talk about tracking them. Just get a good understanding where you're at. When somebody's an athlete, you want to stay about 1 pound per body weight as a general rule for protein. So protein as we get older is really critical. I do have a shake. I use various proteins. Whey I'm not a big fan about, but I will use it in a pinch. But I'm just trying to keep that protein up. So eggs, 2 meals of protein shake is really going to help to kind of keep that protein level high. And again, managing your carbohydrates is a really important thing to do and see where you're at energetically. This is the last thing I'll leave you with, is that I think if you are really into this and you really want to get your life where you need to be, keep a food journal. And a basic food journal is this: I ate this and I feel great, or I ate this and I felt terrible. If you take me to McDonald's and I eat a Big Mac and fries, it will taste awesome. It will feel good. And then within an hour, I'm crashing. Like my body's just going to crash. But if you take me and I eat really high quality sashimi, fresh fish, which is my power food, and I power down a bunch of sashimi, I'm going to have energy all day. So it's really about understanding what works with your metabolism and your body. I know what works for me. And so if I'm having a down day, I'm going to go grab some sashimi, and I'm going to crank that sashimi, and I'm going to feel great. So thriving over 50. As always, hey, hit that like and subscribe. I got to say it helps the algorithm. We need to get this energy out to people. It's time. I want to see people thriving. Like, we're just getting started. I'm 57. I feel like I'm just getting started. I started this YouTube channel, this show for the YouTube channel. We're also doing profiles in success. Love to have you be a part of what we're doing. Obviously, you can go over to MorningCoach and support us there. We got some really cool systems for productivity organization. But man, thriving over 50. We can do this. I mean, it's not just about like thriving. I want to tell you, it's about quality of life. I mean, as you get older, don't you want to have a great quality of life with energy to be able to keep up with the kids? Like, I'm beating most of the younger people at the races. Like I'm 5K, I'm running a 5K in just over 20 minutes. It's pretty crazy. My best marathon time is 3 hours and 27 minutes. I'm not even a runner. I'm doing it because I want to live a long, vibrant life with great energy. And I want you to do that too. And that's what we're going to do together here on the channel. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next episode of Thriving Over 50. Glad you're with me. You got any questions? Hit me up in the comments. Love to have a conversation. All right. We'll see you in the next video.